without compensation.
Wow.
Now, what are green areas? These are areas that are basically meant for agricultural purposes.
Right.
So it's either to grow flowers, it's either to grow plants, but green areas, everyone knows that structures are not supposed to be erected on green areas,
right,
because the land is not meant for, what do you call it?
Oh, it's not
for
meant,
infrastructural
that's right,
development
now. It's
so
not meant for it.
yeah, so he's saying now that any structure on Abuja green areas will be demolished without compensation. Now, the FCT minister, he recently intensified the demolition of illegal structures, of course, and shanties in the nation's capital. And on November 5th, residents of Ruga, a settlement along the airport road in Abuja, they protested against the minister over the demolition of their homes. Now, Martins Vincent Ote, who is popularly known as a very dark man, and Deji Adeanjo, a lawyer and activist, led the protesters who demanded the minister's sack.
For real?
So now, if something doesn't work out,
I don't know.
Rather
Y'all will
than
complain.
look for how to address the issues, we move straight to, okay, let this person be removed. So that means when another person comes to office and whatever that person does is not as satisfactory as you would think, you'd say, okay, that person should be sacked, and then we keep sacking. Before you know it, we have like 5 ministers in 4 years. But anyways, it's not to downplay how these people feel though. But Wike said his administration would not be swayed.
In fact, he vowed it.
Yes, will not be swayed by blackmail or protest, and vowed to continue the demolition of all shanties, posing a security threat to residents. Now, he was speaking during a briefing in Abuja yesterday, and he lamented that green areas in Abuja are being encroached. On Saturday, I was in Maitama, he said, with the Director of Land and Development Control. I do not simply sit in my office. I go out to see what's happening. I mean, many times. If you move around many times, you see many times. Now, he said, upon my visit to Maitama, I discovered that our green areas had been nearly depleted. There were no trees, nothing left. If anyone built on a green area without the necessary approval, then too bad. Those structures will be brought down. Certainly, yes, they will be demolished without compensation. Why should I compensate someone for encroaching on a public land?
Well, I would add my voice to that. You know, Martha, you see, it's we're always very quick, you know, to blaming the government every time. It's the government. Government did not do this. Government did not do that, and all of that, right? I would also say, if you stepped into a state, necessarily Abuja, any state, and you discover that the laws, the policies, right, the way of life, the standard of living is not the type that you can handle, why not go back or go to some other place? You know why I'm saying this? Now, somewhere in Kubwa, right? Kubwa, Bazango extension precisely, right? Yeah, it's a layout, right? But then again,
it was train passes through
that part too. Now, I could tell you one thing. We have a land there, and it was bought like a layout. It has a plan, a clear-cut plan, which includes recreational centers. Now, with all of these plans, do you know that people still came there and bought lands on the recreational center, even when they know it is a recreational center?
So, because I was going to even cut you short when you were talking about the fact that, you know, some people know these things and still go ahead. I didn't know you were coming from this angle.
No, they know.
You know,
they know it.
You know, this kind of thing is going on in Lagos State as well.
Right.
You know, demolitions here and there and all of that. And then I was watching a video this morning, and the person was talking about the fact that, what if we have like an app on our phones where it can give you like 20 to 30 perimeter radius.
Okay.
And
of what the plan
on that
is.
app, yes, you get to see the plan within like 20 to 30 meter perimeter radius. You know, it gives you the plan for this radius, so that you know that, okay, I'm not buying anywhere here because it is for a recreational center. Some people genuinely do not know. You know, they hear that, oh, this land is 100,000 naira and I have one careless 100,000 naira sitting somewhere. Let me just go and get the land.
Who sells it to you? What's the process like?
That's the problem.
There's a lot of things
so that's
involved.
What I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I think the government also has a responsibility to ensuring that the process of verifying whether or not this lands are supposed to be built on should be quite seamless. It should be easy.
Right.
Because I can tell you for a fact that many times you have to go to ages to verify the authenticity of a land. You will stay there so many times you might not be able to get across to these
Sometimes
people.
even spend.
Exactly.
Money is just to verify.
Exactly. There are so many people there. So nobody is saying that this app should be created for free. According to that video which I watched, he said the app should be in such a way that when you want to verify, you want to buy a land and you want to verify a token, 20,000, 10,000 naira, to verify whether or not that land is you're supposed to build on that land or not.
10,000 naira is still on the high side.
5,000.
Yeah, 5,000. But just put something to it. Okay, I get
Do you
that.
understand?
So it generates. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's also generating money for the state that is doing that.
I get that.
If it's for the federal government, it's also generating money for the federal government. You know, we need to start thinking
outside
ways,
the box, man.
We can't say that one minister comes and says the entire road is bad, we need to fix it, houses are being demolished, but of a truth some of these people don't really know. But if you create this atmosphere, if you create this environment or these platforms that makes it super easy, the information is accessible, you can find out whether or not this is a green area or not. When these things are being created for people and they still go and buy on these areas, we know that they have no excuse. In fact, even if they cry from today till tomorrow, everyone is like, the government has done its due diligence. It has provided what is needed for you to verify whether this is a buyable land or not.
Okay.
You know, so I think.
So imagine somebody also going to get a house under the high tension.
You get that,
right?
You see
and then we should also put it out there that, look, when we talk green, land or green areas, recreational centers are part of it, right?
Yes,
so it doesn't just stop at the farming and the tree planting and all of that. It could be relaxation sites, right? It could be for different purposes, but very importantly, not about structures. Building your structure, homely structure, residential structure, and all of that. And there's a reason for this. It's all going back to the entire environmental plan.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we keep saying, have you not seen areas where you live at and then there are no spaces? Everybody's houses, it's like, there's no place
It's even better in the FCT. Places like Lagos.
No way.
In places like
Lagos today? Yeah. Lagos now?
In some areas.
Wow.
In Lagos, they build a lot of story buildings.
Oh, that part. Yeah.
Story buildings. Yeah. Because they're trying to maximize the land
space and all of that.
So the houses are clustered together. From your house, you can most likely see the house of another person.
No.
In some places in Abuja, it's also the same thing.
That's
some places in the FT, it's also the same. But anyways, these are the conversations, and I'm sure that we all know about these reforms. We all know about some of the things going on in the FCT. Would love to know what your honest opinion about this development are. What your contribution will be. What do you think the minister is still leaving out, or was he losing sight of? What are the things that you think should also be brought to his attention? Because it's looking like, according to some people, it's looking like some of this development it's happening in the areas where it doesn't really necessarily touch everybody. You get, what do you think about the development going on in the FCT, and what contributions do you have to make, or what notifications do you have for the FCT minister as well? The phone lines will be open right about now on 090-735300 and 44 or 090-8766-8888.
And then WhatsApp portal number 0909-705-4450. That is the WhatsApp portal number that you can indeed engage with us. And remember, we keep saying it, for the in time across social media platforms, Facebook right there, and underneath the video, as we are hosting an international, global, local internet television, leave your comments there and let us have your thoughts. Remember to also let us know where exactly it is that you are watching us from. It is very important for you to do so that we can also progress these conversations and see how we can reach you one way or the other.
You can give us your stories too. What's your Abuja story?
That's right. That part, exactly. So where are you in ABJ right there? What is that thing that you find a social menace and you need and you ought to report, because it is your duty, it is your responsibility, and together our collective responsibility via that we can reach out to all of these agencies, necessary bodies, to do the needful in case they want to feign I am not aware, or they want to feign we don't know what's going on. Right there, you've talked about it, and it's right there. Posterity becomes the judge, and then we get this this conversation started.
So let's have it coming through on 090-7353 let me take it slow. 090-7353 0044 or 09087668888. I remember I used to hate radio a lot because I never get to hear these guys. They're calling it so fast, I never really get to call. So let me not do to others what I didn't want to be done to me. 09097054450. That's the WhatsApp portal number. We'll very much like to hear from you. Now let's move on to other stories.
Yeah.
It's reported that NAFDAC shuts down counterfeit alcohol factory in the city of Abuja. Now, NAFDAC, of course, is the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, recently intensified its campaign against counterfeit alcohol, dismantling an illicit production operation in Lugbe, Abuja. Now, this raid uncovered large quantities of fake alcohol beverages and expired ingredients with altered dates, underscoring NAFDAC's commitment to clamping down on dangerous substandard goods. In an operation led by Mr. Shaba Mohammed, director of NAFDAC's Federal Task Force Enforcement Team, he seized counterfeit alcohol and discovered equipment used to package this product in reused bottles. Can you imagine? Now, according to him, he says the operation is part of a broader effort to target hotspots for counterfeit goods, says Mohammed. Lugbe has become a focal point for producing and distributing these fake alcoholic products, bottles labeled to mimic popular brands and expiration dates altered to deceive consumers.
Right.
The confiscated product has been packaged in residential settings where counterfeit relied on imitation packaging materials to produce fraudulent versions of popular alcoholic drinks. Now, the thing is, where this becomes a problem is, even if the authentic drinks have barcode scans where you can scan to find out whether it's authentic, because the bottles have been reused, you might never be. Remember, you can buy bottle caps these days. You can just buy bottle caps, refill the bottles, and recap it, and it looks all new. So even if you go to scan the barcode, it tells you it is the authentic product,
right,
because they did not rebottle. They only refill and reused the bottle.
Over and over
this is a menace, and of course, happy to see that NAFDAC is gradually being as proactive as it used to be during the time of Professor Dora Akunyili. We've seen them on the news countless times, and they're fighting some of these crimes here. It is a very welcome development, and of course,
right,
we never seize the opportunity to blow that right here on radio.
That's
We're
right.
hoping that more of these things will be uncovered, and so that the lives of people will be secured as much as possible, because you know what it means buying something from these people don't have the accurate measurements. They might just put all of these things together. We might become a harm to your body eventually.
Right.
So yes, kudos to NAFDAC.
Kudos to NAFDAC for that. I think we do this for them too. And then, some thoughts, would also come from the place of what prompted NAFDAC, a raid on, some of these factories.
Yeah.
The truth is, it's just a matter of whistleblowing. I mean, it's a community. And that's why we say that you have a responsibility, right, to put these things out there. And then it always also comes with a place of how much information do I have, right, to getting out or getting through to the relevant agencies, to getting them to come to see, some of these happenings that's going on right there. But another question will be what type of counterfeit alcohol drinks were being produced at the factory. Were they popular brands or fake brands? Well, we got a call. Let's go hear from you. Hello and good morning to you.
My perfect gentleman.
Good morning to you, my brother.
A patriotic broadcaster.
Right.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, my brother.
Yes, patriotism in the spirit in the air today. You guys are doing great. We are listening. Not that we're not hearing. People are hearing. Millions of Nigerians are hearing.
Right.
All right.
Those who have a positive mindset about this country.
Sure.
Listen,
All right.
if you know what is happening in this land of Karen that we is talking about, my brother, you weep like EFCC chairman said.
Yeah, he made that statement yesterday. The EFCC chairman or Koyede.
He
He
said
said,
it.
we'll weep, we'll cry.
When we know what's happening,
if we know what's going on.
I heard that.
And let me tell you, the shock is that most people who are indulged in this dirty, corrupt system, who never want any project who don't want Nigeria to benefit from government budget, just let me put it like that. You will know that there are even the people who will agree good money every morning. Listen, do you know that in this Abuja, someone can just go and discover a land. When they discover the land, they will go back just like gray area, packs, and the guys do the paper. And somebody around yesterday will give them paper. And tomorrow, minister will be talking with authority, and some bloggers will be writing rubbish and jumping up and down as activists. Just like that, what they call it, this Ruga Ruga. If you know the terrible criminality that is going on between City Gate to Airport Junction, most of these guys, once they commit this, they run to Ruga Ruga. And people, people don't look. I look at very dark minds, they jump up and down. You don't just use people's problem to project your NGO or project your personality. You know the translation of what the minister is doing. We don't know. But if you're more to break down anything around that AA Rhino, down to Ruga Ruga, around 7, 8, okay, forget your motor, just go because of your life. Either they jump into that holy Quran where they normally do a Muslim prayer annually or thereabout, or they run to Ruga Ruga. See, some of these estate developers you see today, most of their document is forged. Some, and they know, they do not pay subscribers. They only just to get a land, come and see the paper, ACGA, RFO, ACGA, this and that. Okay, within them, they know say this paper. Now land grabber they do. And tomorrow, if tomorrow the reown of the land that have been allocated, maybe the man don't get stroke, he don't walk, finish, he don't tire, he don't get stroke, maybe children can't get up, say, this paper now, papa get a more go check the land. And when they don't come, they don't be there, stay there. And maybe the former minister, they don't have access. And this present minister, maybe God open door for them. They don't get connect. And they bring their document that their late father has, or their late mother has, or their late brother, as a retirement benefit. And when they get to the site, behold, one big estate, Mountain Grace Estate, or Enjoyment Estate, the wrong and the people don't live there. Or you're not telling me because a general is living there upon my father's property. I say I will not fight for them to be demolished. I take my father's property. You don't want to compensate him out of cost settlement. So if anybody is blaming minister, that person don't know the kind of terrible thing that is going on in Lambakete in Abuja.
All right.
God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ambassador, for that one.
Thank you, honestly, for that contribution, so that we make room for others to also make their contributions. But yes, conversation is still open right here. 09073 530044 or 09087 668888. The responsibility of preserving whatever we need to preserve is dual. Is of course the government has its part to play, but we also, the citizens, we also have a part to play. And yes, we must fully understand this responsibility, and that is the only way that we can come into full power to exercise the authority. Because if we don't understand it, we definitely will continue to think that it's something that one party is responsible to doing.
And in this case, of course, we've seen where the government is now being very responsive and responsible in this sense, especially with matters that concern Abuja as the federal capital territory. Now, FCT minister. That's right, FCT minister, right? And now when the government is doing its part, now this is where we always talk about double standards. Now the government is doing its part. Should we also now be the ones to become, to want to put the government to a stake, right? I mean, to want to put it to a cross and say, even for the good works you're doing, we have to still, barge you, bombard you, and all of that. I mean, maybe because we do not really understand the health risk, right? Now, that's the point. And then apart from that, the alcohol drink, where the NAFDAC has come out to uncover some of these places. It's crazy. I mean, one of the potential health risks will be the potential harm to consumers, where counterfeit drinks can contain harmful chemicals, which will lead to health issues. I mean, poisoning or even death, right? And then of course we're talking about vulnerable populations right there, where low-income individuals, right, they're even unaware, like they don't even know, they're unaware of the risk, all right, and that it might be also disproportionately affected. Well, it's really sad because not being aware, and these are the people who patronize this kinds of stuff. And then another term would be the place of consuming counterfeit drinks can lead, to chronic health problems such as liver damage or even cancer. So some of the things that you may be experiencing at this point in time might just be because of the things that you put yourself out to consume, exposing yourself just like that.
All right, let's not forget about the conversation we talked about, the pack the banning of alcohol from the parks, does
Right.
that really influence anything? Because
does it influence anything?
They can drink from their homes and bring
And
it
still
here,
bring it to
they have water cans these days. And in fact, when you go to the parks most times, I don't think the only thing you'd see is those ones in sachet,
right?
Those ones
sachet
in sachet
drinks.
You see them there. Most times these guys are with water bottles. In fact, it is one time I heard someone say, if some of these people give you anything in the water can, I said, why would I even drink something
from a water can? Do you understand? I don't get it.
So you'd see them with some things. Oh my goodness.
Oh Lord.
But I mean, it is what it
You're
is.
lost for words right
Lost
there.
for words,
I tell you, if you've not really experienced this, if you've not had somebody, who's indulged in it, who has taken it to, how do I put it now? It has become a part of him or her, a habit, right? Where they cannot break off from. And then it has affected their psychological makeup such that they behave so erratically. And then you're like, come on.
And there were videos circulating, I think a couple of months back, where these guys took this stuff, these hard drinks in the park, and they were misbehaving everywhere. It was gradually becoming a menace here at that time. But we're hoping that this ban will directly influence that change that we hope to see. But anyways, guys, we're still on the Abuja segment of the Meet the Extra show. And this is Eagles 102.3 FM, your radio experience you can count on. Make sure you don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Looking for a professional event planner in Abuja and its environs, but don't know how to go about it? Eagles FM got you covered. Call us today and